So it is finally time. Dying Light patch 1.2 has been released for PC and consoles as well. At the time of recording this video, it's available on all platforms. Now, this patch, oh my god. Alright, this patch changed some in-game events or in-game things that people found very unnecessary, including myself. We will talk about all these changes in depth in the end of the video. These are unlisted changes. These changes that I mentioned before was not on the patch notes. So with that being said, let's look at some of the changes they've done to Dying Light 2. There are some improvements and there are some good quality of life improvements as well. This is like the big patch that we got after a metric ton of hot fixes. Claims to fix Deathloop and many other quest bugs and stuff like that. Dying Light was released at a stage which was very buggy. For some people it was perfect, including myself. I had no issues with quest or Deathlooping or whatever. Maybe because I didn't engage in co-op. People who did engage on co-op actually got a lot of bugs. They claim to fix co-op too. Let's look at the patch notes and just go through all the listed changes, and then I'll go ahead and talk about the unlisted changes, and then we'll talk about the community feedback surrounding the unlisted changes. That's pretty bad or pretty good depending on whom you ask. So there are a metric ton of changes being done in this patch, and I'm not going to go through every single one of them. In the patch notes they are categorized, so I'm going to go through every patch changes as one category instead of just going line by line. Alright, first off, we got story progression fixes. In this case, we got all known cases with Deathloops eliminated, fix a block in multiple quests, solve problems with safe zones, in-game clock stop, can't sleep, and there are some bunch of core related bugs fixes here. You can read it on the screen or go to the link in the description. I'm not gonna go through the co-op issues, and let's go to some of the good and juicy stuff. Alright, improvements to combat and Ragdoll behavior. Now this is something that I was excited to check it out when I first read the patch notes, because Ragdolls in Dying Light 2 is very underwhelming compared to the first game. It's non-existent in the Dying Light 2, but they have fixed it, or they have added Ragdolls, and it's now much cooler to see the enemy just flying off in the air for explosions, you know, drop kicking enemies out of buildings. It's look much natural, like enemies falling from buildings instead of just standing and just have this idle animations or walking animations or whatever the animation that was playing. Now you see the Ragdoll physics being implemented. It's pretty cool to see they have finally added that. There are some improvements to enemy behaviors for biters and some of the enemies, human enemies. So biters latch onto you more often. I can confirm this. During daytime they actually latch onto you, and they do it more often than they used to, and it is pretty cool change. Now they are actually also a formidable force. You know, if you ignore them, they could surround you and they can latch onto you and you're probably dead, and it's a good change that gives the enemies much variety. Human enemies also been improved in, I don't know about lower difficulties, but in higher difficulties they usually coordinate more than they used to, and unfortunately I don't have any footage to show you, but they do coordinate and attack very human-like instead of just mindless zombies. It's a good variety in my opinion. Okay, going back to Ragdoll, I forgot to mention something, that the surface detection is also been improved. Like when you hit someone on a wall or spikes, the body do react and have this blood splatters just coming off from the point of impact, which is pretty damn cool to see. In a zombie game you expect the visceral nature of it, and it actually gave more blood and gore now, which is pretty damn cool to see. Speaking of blood and gore, they actually have improved the brutality of the game. You can now dismember enemies. There are increased blood and gore, blood splatters. Your character's face also get bloody, like you see these blood stuff on your screen, which is pretty damn cool to see. It also has to do with the Ragdoll physics, and dead bodies now react to blowbacks, and you can dismember dead bodies now, which is damn cool. And this is actually very good improvements they've done to give the games more immersive feeling that you are in a zombie apocalypse. And they improved some of the nighttime events, like Hauler senses range increase. Haulers are more resistant to range attack. You no longer can attack Haulers from range and get their trophies because they're more resistant. And if the Hauler live after you shot at them, they will start to scream and the chase will begin. And volatiles are more deadly now. They come out very much faster than they used to. Because of this, the nighttime chases is much harder now, and I definitely like it. It actually gives you a more challenge during the night now. Speaking of challenges, level 4 chase is much harder. You'll see volatiles everywhere, and if you need to be very lucky to escape with your life, because the moment you look away, a volatile will jump onto you. This has been done to reduce the amount of grind that you can do, just like exploiting this chase system. You no longer can do that. Volatiles will come after you much rapidly and you will die instantly. And I don't know how I feel about this change. It's good to have a challenge, especially even after hardest difficulty. This game doesn't provide that much of a challenge to me, but oh my god, that's too much. It's like Dark Souls kind of challenging now to deal with the volatiles at level 4 chase. Some UI and UX improvements in this patch, which is I think one of the best things in this patch. And the UI elements on your HUD will now have a dynamic settings, which means that when they are not in use or they don't no longer required for the players to see, they will fade away and giving you more vision. It's actually more immersive now, like your health bar will disappear if it's full, and your item will select wheel also disappeared. Day night cycle widget will also disappeared, and it's only appeared when it's close to night time, and it also when it's close to the morning it will appear on your screen, and then it will disappear again. You have the option to turn this thing on and off. By default, when you start off the game after the patch, it will set to dynamic. If you want to see these HUD items always, you can go to options, HUD, and you will see all the new options there for you to change. Alright, those are all the changes they've done in 1.2 update. There are some console specific stuff also on their website. I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can go ahead and check it out, all the console specific changes they've done. And there are also all the changes. I'm not gonna go ahead with the unlisted changes on this video because this video is already too long. I will do the second part of it and also compile more informations regarding what's the current situations. I did say that you will see it in the end of the video. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing for more, and see you guys next time. Peace.